What's up, guys? If we haven't met before, my name is Dallas.
And I'm Amy.
And we just got back from an amazing trip to Mexico City. We did a ton of stuff. We walked all around different parts of the city. We went to museums, we went to parks.
We walked all over the place.
We walked like everywhere. We were in regular taxis. We rode in a ton of Ubers. We didn't ride on the bus and we didn't ride on the metro. But before we went on the trip, so many of our friends and family were like, oh my God, you're going to where? Like, don't go to Mexico City.
So we decided we would figure it out for ourselves by going. Here's a couple of tips that we learned.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, I would say like situational awareness, you have to have that a little bit of a heightened level when you're there, both because we did hear there's tons of muggings, especially in the metro. So we stayed away from the metro.
Yeah. Something to be aware of, you know, pickpocketing and mugging. It seems to be more common in the metro and probably on the buses as well.
Yeah, we never saw anything happen, but we stayed out of those areas. So I would say if you're going and you can swing it, I would do Ubers to just get rid of that issue altogether. However, if you do go in, make sure you're like backpack, because you're gonna have a backpack or a purse or something. Make sure that it seals in a way that someone can't like just swoop in and grab your stuff when you're not looking.
I bought a backpack specifically for this trip that actually opens in the back. So the part that's against you is the part that opens. So it'd be really hard for someone to steal something. So I'll link one down below that I like. And you can try it out if you're worried about being pickpocketed with your backpack. It's like a backpack purse, so.
Yeah, and I don't see it like, like I said, we never saw it happen. I never was that worried, but there were times where it was like, man, because there's just a ton of people, right? There's so many people in Mexico City that there's moments that you're this close. Yeah. Especially if you ride the bus. Like we saw the bus cruising by and it was like, I ride the bus in LA and it gets full, but this was another level. It's like one hand here and there's people that's the moment where you can't have your hands around your bag. It's impossible. And that's when that person, if they're there, is gonna swoop in and try to snag your stuff. So watch out for that. But I never felt that concerned about things like getting like kidnapped. I was, everybody seemed really nice. Everybody was extremely friendly when we were walking around, but it was something that we did get told a lot and we did read a lot that these like small time, like you're sitting down, you're not paying attention, you're looking somewhere else and your bag is sitting there and your bag's full of like your camera equipment or whatever, someone might run by and like snag it. So just your situational awareness. I don't think they're gonna come up to me like at gunpoint and try to take it, but if I leave it out, it might be like, hey man, you should have been watching your stuff.
Just be responsible for your own stuff. Yeah,
really just be more aware. So the other way that you really should need to be aware when you're walking around is how is like the road, how are the walkways? Is there something you're gonna trip on? Plus there's so much cool stuff to like look at everywhere that it's not
like
fair.
This, you know?
Yeah, it's not fair. It's against like everything to have it all messed up on the ground, but like you're looking up and looking at these amazing statues and cool buildings. So watch out for that. I'd say like I slammed my hand in a door, you know what I mean? Just dumb stuff like that. But
don't be looking at your phone. Yeah. There's times where you're walking and you're trying to navigate or look something up, but you accidentally trip. True story.
Yeah.
But just be aware of where you are and your surroundings and the sidewalk because it could change quickly.
It can change like the levels. Nothing seems as standardized. I've also heard a lot of Mexico City is sinking, so I think they're always having an issue with keeping things at like the same level. So you'll be walking, all of a sudden the curb that was like 6 inches tall is now like 1.5 feet tall or something. So if you step off and you were thinking one thing, it's just that kind of stuff. And then the roads there are gnarly how they're laid out, right? It's like they took spaghetti and just threw it at the map and they're like, that's where all the streets will go. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. So when you're walking around, really be paying attention to because you could like step off a curb and you think you're fine, and then I didn't even see this other street, this little alley street, and someone's like zipping down it really quick.
Another tip that I would say is don't wear a lot of flashy jewelry. I didn't wear my Fitbit just because I was afraid to lose it, and I'm very clumsy and I tend to leave things places, so just kind of keep it down low. And this tip goes for anywhere you travel, really. Don't wear your nicest pearls or anything like that because you never know if you could lose them or someone could see them and target you because of that. So just don't make yourself a target.
So one other thing you can do, I hate like harping on the whole like getting mugged because I don't think it's like as rampant as a lot of people have told us.
Pretty unlikely.
Seems unlikely, but we didn't want our debit cards to get stolen in the process, right? So anytime we wanted to use our debit card, we would like go to the bank bank or go to that ATM, get money, come back, and leave our debit card at home, which everybody kind of told us to do. So when you're out, that way if someone comes up to you and does mug you, you can just be like, here's my, you know, $50 or $100 or whatever that you have on you, and that's all I've got, man. Like, there you go, and they're just gonna take it and go. And then here's what you do, right? I love this thing. It's so trick. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description, but here's my belt. Okay. It's just like a normal, it's like a slider belt, so it'll fit like any size. You just cut it, and then on the inside, you have this long zipper, so you can stuff in here like a little bit of cash. And that way, if you do get mugged, it's like, here you go, and I've still got $20 on me or $50. That's all you need to stuff in here, just a little bit. It's not gonna fit a ton, but pretty cool. Or like a house key. You could get a house key in here too if you needed to.
Girls, they do have some bra clips that go in the center right here that you can clip on that are nice and soft, so you could put a couple dollars in there or whatever if you don't want to wear a belt.
A belt, yeah. But for guys, like, this is the coolest one I saw, because I don't want like the huge, like, I'm traveling Europe with Rick Steves, you know, Europe 2020 edition. They have those big, like, you know, packs you wear, money belts. That's what they're called. They call them money belts. They go around your neck though, so I don't, whatever. But they hold like everything, and those are cool if you're trying to hold like, this isn't gonna fit a passport or even an ID, not even a debit card, nothing. But it's so low profile, they're never gonna think that I'm wearing it. They're never gonna check, you know, if they check my neck, they're gonna see this weird, like, off-tan, gross looking strap. This, no one's ever gonna notice, and I've got a little, and even if I just lose my stuff, I've got a little bit of cash in my belt, I'm set.
Just enough to get back to the hotel.
So getting around, you're gonna see tons of taxis. I've been told that when you're out, you need to make sure you go with a registered taxi service. The way you do that is you find one of like the kiosks or little stands where someone is at, and they're like the official person, and they have a line of cabs right there, very similar to like outside of a Vegas casino or outside of any hotel. But if you see them just on the street as like an unmarked cab and the guy's just standing there, even if it's marked, it looks the same, they'll paint them exactly the same as what I've heard, and we can't tell that it's a little bit different, and they'll be like, hey man, I got you right here, you don't have to wait in line. Like, go with the regular taxi service if you want to take taxis, or pro tip, just take Uber.
It's so inexpensive and fast-ish, you know, fast for Mexico City, so definitely recommend taking an Uber. It's probably going to be under $5 USD. So.
Yeah, totally under $5 for most of your trips. The most expensive trip we had was like $6 or something like that.
45 minutes.
Yeah, it was a 45-minute ride through traffic, and this guy did that. And then we always tipped the highest amount, which ended up being like
a dollar,
like $1 to $2. Yeah. So they're happy, we're happy, everybody's happy, and that guy's, you know, he's making his living driving everybody around. We got Ubers though, and you'd hit the call button, and it was like 1 minute. Like, you'd hit it, and the dude was like, we're right here, instantly.
Just be ready, because there's a lot of Ubers there, which is awesome, but just don't think you're going to take a shower or something first.
Yeah, it took us longer to get down the stairs of our apartment building than it did for the Uber to like get to our place. So they're there, lickety split. You're gonna see street food everywhere in Mexico City, every corner, and it changes throughout the day. So if you want those breakfast items, you need to go in the morning and get them. That happened to us. I really wanted to try the breakfast street food, and it was already gone by the time I lazily got out there. So be on top of it. But there are so many good street foods.
There's tacos, quesadillas, just about anything you can think of, you can find out there. And just be aware that when they say no spicy, that means a different thing in Mexico. No pica is what I've seen. But as a girl who cannot really eat spicy food, I think just something to be aware of.
Yeah, totally. When they're like, oh, it's not spicy, it's gonna be spicy. I like spicy, so I was into it. But even so, there was a level where like, this one's really hot, and I was like, and I try a little bit, I'm like, it's crazy hot. So be careful on the spicy level. On the like sanitary style of the street food, I feel like it's just like anywhere else in the world. If you've ever been somewhere with street food that's abundant, like Thailand or anywhere in Asia, you kind of just pick and choose based on a couple factors. One, is the place busy? Do a lot of people getting food? Is the food being turned over quickly? Does the grill or however it's cooking it, does it look nice and hot? Are they throwing it on and it's sizzling, or are they throwing it on and it's just kind of sitting there? We've all cooked food, you know it needs to be hot. Is it a big thing of soup that's been boiling for 2 days? Do you want to risk it? You know, just you make your call at that moment, at that stall. Don't cast off all street food, and definitely don't eat all street food. There's somewhere in the middle there that you're gonna find that's gonna work out for you, but definitely try it.
A good rule of thumb is if you see a couple of locals there at least, that's probably a safe place to eat, because they know where to eat, and they know, oh, don't eat it, you know, Bob's Burger Shack.
Bob's Burger Shack is terrible in Mexico City, so stay away from that. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. We'll be super stoked to answer them or do our best to.
And Mexico City, we cannot wait to come back and see you. We loved our trip there, and it was absolutely beautiful.
So we'll see you guys next time.